Yo, what up? We back again on CT's RPT, Real Prison Talk with Wes. And I was talking to one of my homies on the phone earlier. Actually, the homie Dipset, or Staff, as he go by. And he had called the show a couple weeks ago. I got the interview on there with me and him. But he's in Carl Robinson, CI. And we was talking about the show or whatever. And he was telling me, I was telling him actually, about the people that I plan on having on the show. And a lot of the people, like I said, we've been bidding together for a while. So a lot of the people I know, he knows. So I'm telling him I'm going to have this person on, that person on. He like, yeah, all that's cool, but you telling all these dudes stories. What about your story? And I never even thought, because I know I gave y'all a little background on me. Like my first episode, maybe my first few episodes, I gave y'all a little background on me. But I never thought to share my story in its full entirety. So I was telling him, you know what, that's a good idea. I think that's what I'm going to do. So, give y'all a little bit about Wes' story. I came out to Connecticut. I moved out here with a friend of mine that I actually grew up with. And he had moved out here first. I'm from Harlem, New York, and he's from my projects. I'm from St. Nick Projects. And he had actually got arrested for selling drugs in the projects. And at the time, I don't know if they still do it now, but at the time, the way they did it, if you get caught selling drugs in the projects, they kick your family out the projects. So his family had moved to Connecticut. He came home. He moved out here shortly after. And he stayed out here for about a year or two before he had came back to the projects to visit. And I'm still in St. Nick Projects. I never stopped selling my crack. I've been selling crack for quite some time. Either drugs or guns, you know. Or both, actually. There was plenty of times I sold both. Mainly drugs, though. You know, I'd buy guns and flip them and sell them and trade them and shit like that. But my main thing was crack cocaine. And I remember when he talked me into coming out of here, his sales pitch was, he came and he seen my operation, the way how smooth things was going. And he said, Wes, if they like your crack out here in New York, they're going to love it out there in Connecticut. So at first I was like, nah, I'm good here, you know. I always go by, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So after maybe a few weeks of the dude getting in my head, telling me like, yo, we need to go to Connecticut. You need to bring this to Connecticut. I finally said, I'm going to give it a shot. I come out here, start my little business. Surely, about 2 months, I was getting hauled off to jail. Police kicked in the door, took me to jail for sales, gave me 3 years. During that 3 years, I came in not knowing about no gang block or nothing like that. I know in New York, you can pretty much be what you want to be in the prison system and not get penalized for it. So I was in a jail called Bergen. It was a level 2 facility because I had a nonviolent crime. I only had 3 years. I was a level 2 inmate. There was a situation. Me being who I am, got right in it, but mediated it. I mediated the situation, squashed the beef. But it happened in the gym right in front of the lieutenant. So he pulls me in the office and he goes, that looked like some gang shit right there. Are you a gang member? Me not knowing that they got this whole thing out here called the gang block, and you get punished for being a gang member, willingly admitted, yes, I'm a gang member. Bad idea. Just like coming out here was a bad idea. He didn't explain nothing to me. He just told me to put my hands behind my back, put handcuffs on me, took me to the box. So I get in the box, and luckily there was another dude in the box that had just got affiliated also. And he basically was telling me, like, he said, you told him that? I'm like, yeah, because I'm asking dudes, like, what am I in here for? So he asked me to run down the story. I told him what happened. He like, you actually told him that? I'm like, yeah, I told him that. What's the problem? He said, oh, yeah, you about to go to the gang block. They about to affiliate you. And he kind of prepared me for everything that was about to happen. He said, you're not going to get no good time. You're not going to get no parole. You're not going to get nothing. You only could go $35 a week. At the time, I think, yeah, it was $35 a week. I don't remember. This is 2009. Anyway, the program is an 8-month program. So I get there, they tell me, well, listen, stay out of trouble, do 8 months, you'll go back to population, receive all the perks that inmates in population get. That didn't happen. That 8-month program stretched out the whole 3 years of my bid, because every time you catch a ticket and get in any kind of trouble, the whole 8 months starts all over again. So now, I did the whole 3 years in the gang block. I completed it. Actually, I completed it and then got reaffiliated and then completed it again right before I went home. I did my 3 years. During that time, I started in Bergen. I got affiliated. I went to Corrigan's gang block as a SRG member. That's what they call the gang members, security risk group members. If you get in any type of fight or assault on DOC, then you graduate from being an SRG member to a SRG threat member. I eventually became an SRG threat member. I was sent to Northern Correctional Facility, which is a super maximum security, level 5, they housed, at the time, they had death row inmates up there. They got lifers blocks. They got what they call an AS program. Is like, it's just like the gang block. If you catch a lot of tickets and get in a lot of trouble, you'll go to the AS block, and the same rules apply. You come out. That was crazy. I think my homie Dipset had touched on it. You come out for 1 hour a day, but for that 1 hour, you cuff behind your back. I believe that's how I messed my shoulder up, because you cuff behind your back for a whole hour. It might not seem like nothing until you've been there for like 40 minutes, 45 minutes, and that shoulder start burning on you. So that's phase 1. Phase 1 is about 3-4 months. Once you finish phase 1, you move to phase 2. Phase 1, they take all your electronics from you, except they give little AM, FM radios. You can have that. And if you don't have an AM, FM radio, you can have your CD player, but no CDs. So CD players come equipped with AM, FM radio on them. You can listen to the radio on your CD player. You can have that. That's all the electronics you're allowed to have. You can't have no TV, can't have no CDs, can't have no Game Boy, can't have nothing. You're only in the cell with your affiliation. Whatever your affiliation is, that's who you in the cell with. That's who you go to rec with. Cuffed behind the back. When you graduate to phase 2, they take the cuffs off. They intertwine their affiliations now. That's when things start getting interesting. When they throw all the affiliations in the yard together, and they throw all affiliations in the cell together. That's part of the program, though. You get to phase 2, you have to live. You can no longer live with someone of your affiliation. You have to live with another affiliation opposite from yours. If you're successful in staying out of trouble, you'll move to phase 3, where you'll come back to the jail that I started in Corrigan. You'll get your TV and your electronics back. You'll still only get 1 hour of rec a day. And at the time, there were only 3 phases. Phase 3 is where you'll graduate, you'll go back into population. I went home, came back, was home for 2 years. I went right back to selling drugs. Investigation was on me. I didn't know I was under investigation. April 1st, 2014, the police were kicking in my door. And they had warrants for me and for my workers. That's the bid that I'm paroled off of now. I was basically sentenced to a 20-year sentence for a nonviolent crime. 12 of it was supposed to be in jail. They wanted 12 years in jail, 8 years special parole. Due to the fact that I was nonviolent, what I had working in my favor was that I'm eligible for parole after 50%. So you only have to do 50% of the jail time before you're eligible to go home on parole. If you make it, parole gives you an OAP, offender accountability plan, and then they'll review your behavior since you've been in jail, along with did you follow their offender accountability plan. But parole don't come see you in the gang block. So when I came back to jail this time, April 1st, they kicked in my door, 5 o'clock in the morning. I remember it like it was yesterday, day I'll never forget. I love dogs. I had pit bulls. My dog was downstairs barking his head off. And since it was 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, let me go downstairs and shut this dog up. And when I went to open my door, there were police masked up with guns in my face telling me to get on the floor. I come back to prison for this bid that I'm on now. I was affiliated from the streets because of the confidential informant that they had buying drugs off of me. Told them that I was a gang member from New York. And he also told them that he's seen me in possession of firearms. It didn't help that when they came, I had bandanas on my wall, in my bedpost or whatever. That didn't help my case. So as soon as I went back to jail, the detective called the jail, said, yeah, he's a gang member, sent me right back to the gang block. 2 years I got to go. Now, if you a one-timer, for your first time getting affiliated, you have to sit in the gang block for 2 years, ticket free, take their program, and then you go back to population. If you get re-affiliated, no, did I say 2 years? You have to sit 8 months ticket free, take their program, and then go back into population. Excuse me, I'm sorry. If you're a re-affiliate, you have to sit 2 years ticket free. There is no program for you. You just have to stay out of trouble for 2 years. That's if you're affiliated more than once, though. I sat there for 2 years, ticket free, got out of the gang block, got back to population. My head was really focused on, I have to make parole. I got too much time to not make parole. So I can't be fooling around, doing nonsense, because I really felt bad that I left my kids out here. I left an 8-year-old and a 12-year-old. When I came back, my daughter will be 18 in March. Just got a full scholarship to college. But I missed a lot of years out of her life that I can't get back, you know? So I did everything that I could, you know? I did everything they had on that little OAP. I did all of that. And then some. I took their programs, and then I paid for my own programs. I got a job. I made sure I maintained employment. By the time parole came to see me, I had a stack of certificates about this thick. College courses I don't take in, prerequisite courses I don't take in, courses I don't paid for. I had to prove to them that I was trying to become a better person than what I've been showing them in my past. So It was June. I went to the board in June of 2018. They gave it to me. My parole date was supposed to be September, I think 21st or something like that. I can't remember. But ironically, I haven't caught a ticket my whole bid. And then the week I'm supposed to get parole, I catch a silly ticket because of an officer that was just being an idiot, you know, having a bad day. Luckily, Halfway House came and got me while I was in the process of fighting the ticket. So I really didn't catch the ticket. I was still in the process of fighting it. The Halfway House came and got me. And here I am. I know I probably left out a lot. That's really the compacted version. There's a lot more. You know, I'm a very complex person. There's layers to me. I know I probably left out a lot. But that's pretty much my story in a nutshell, man. If you have it by now, show some love by hitting the subscribe button. If you know somebody that's in prison that want to be on the show, just connect with me. Either hit me up on the show or either hit me up on Instagram, wes.smith.129. We can link something up. I pay for all the prison calls, so you don't have to worry about nothing. You just hit me up. I'll set it all up from there. Till next time, peace.